My sister-in-law Sophia Wilson was pregnant. On the night our whole family celebrated, my brother John's childhood friend Lily Parker showed up at our door with a pregnancy test result, demanding he take responsibility. John, abandoning his usual aloof demeanor, clung to Sophia shamelessly. "Honey, she's framing me. You're the only one for me. She's just a gold digger." I smiled brightly at the woman who'd destroyed our family in our previous life. We'd been waiting for this moment. During dinner, Sophia announced her pregnancy. John froze. Mom cried. Dad laughed. I finally exhaled, we'd made it. Last life. When Sophia revealed her pregnancy, Lily had appeared with fake test results. My honest brother panicked, missing his chance to explain. Sophia confronted Lily, got enraged, and miscarried. She divorced John despite our parents' pleas. John spiraled into mental illness, eventually marrying Lily under pressure. Lily revealed her true colors after the wedding: no pregnancy, just greed for our soon-to-be demolished home. She vanished with the compensation money. Our parents died chasing her. John went mad. I died of cancer alone in the snow. This time, we celebrated carefully. Since our rebirth, we'd meticulously recreated our previous timeline. Sophia remained blissfully unaware, the only non-reincarnated family member. On our first reborn day, John declared, "We'll treat Sophia right. No one hurts her." Parents nodded eagerly. I rolled my eyes. They died too early last life to know Sophia's secret. She's an undercover billionaire heiress who married John for his kindness. Post-divorce last life, she inherited her father's empire, becoming our province's first female tycoon. Hearing Sophia's pregnancy news, Mom and Dad stormed the market, buying all her favorite foods. Guilt-ridden John slipped me $200, his secret savings from his meager salary, to order my preferred takeout. I refused. At dinner, I watched the clock. Right on schedule. The knock came. Lily barged in, slamming fake test results on the table. "John, take responsibility." Sophia looked at John, who tightened his embrace. "I swear I only want you." That night at the reunion, I stayed with Ethan. She sneaked into my bed drunk. Ethan can confirm. Sophia blushed furiously in his uncharacteristic public embrace. The rest of us exchanged knowing glances. Our carefully rehearsed counterattack began. Sophia Wilson's face nearly touched her knees. "You should stop talking now." Lily Parker froze. She stared at John in disbelief. "John, I gave you my innocence. How could you be so heartless?" John gazed tenderly at Sophia. "My conscience was devoured by my wife long ago. Unless you have other business, kindly stop interrupting our celebration." Lily finally regained her wits. "I'm carrying your child. With our family's friendship, how can you abandon your responsibility?" John finally looked at her through narrowed eyes. "Got proof this child is mine? I've never been with another man." John's expression turned as though he'd swallowed sewage. "That desperate to trap a married man? Do I look like I'd forget sleeping with someone?" Lily fled in tears. Our parents roared with laughter. Sophia's pregnancy was secure. I gave John a thumbs up. 3 years ago, when he'd miraculously returned from death on their wedding night, he'd clung to our parents sobbing about past regrets. In that lost lifetime, Lily's ambush had paralyzed him with rage, allowing her schemes to flourish. Sophia's miscarriage followed, then her cutting off our entire family until tragedy struck. John's most repeated phrase since rebirth: "Only when I went mad last life did I realize your sister-in-law matters more than my own heartbeat. If you hadn't stopped me, I'd have burned the Parker estate upon returning." Tonight, John crept into my room like a thief. "I forgot Lily's next moves from that cursed timeline, you remember? Last life." Lily had doctored surveillance footage from John's friend to break Sophia's heart. This time, 2 days prior, I'd sweet-talked that same friend into deleting the original tapes. The footage showed John stone sober that night, buttoned up like a Puritan. My intervention kept the timeline favorable. When I handed John the backup drive, he grinned. "Worth spoiling, you rotten." After explaining things to Sophia. I'll find you the perfect husband. I snorted. Master your own marriage first. Matchmaker. Dawn brought unexpected chaos. Lily arrived with reinforcements. Wailing in our living room. John's absence left me center stage. Thank goodness I'd prepped our parents' evidence before confrontation. After hours of crocodile tears yielded no John. Lily peered toward his bedroom. John never sleeps this late. They say marrying poorly ruins generations. I chuckled. He used to rise early from cold sheets. Now Sophia keeps him warm. Lily's lip trembled. I've only shared John's bed once. How would I know that warmth? Ah yes. I nodded. Your legendary 60-second encounter. It was all night. Lily shrieked. Her parents interjected, Vivian. Our Lily would never lie. If not for that drunken night. As Mom gritted her teeth and Dad cracked knuckles. I resisted slamming the drive on the table. If Lily's so desirable, why chase my brother's leftovers? What's your real game? As I spoke, I stared intently at Lily. Sure enough, I caught a fleeting glimpse of guilt in her eyes before it vanished. What else could I want from him? The deed is done, shouldn't he take responsibility? I maintained silent eye contact until she squirmed uncomfortably. My mother finally intervened. We're reasonable people. If you insist this is our family's grandchild. Vivian. Accompany her for comprehensive medical tests. If she's truly pregnant, we'll assume responsibility. Lily's face lit up. Great. You'll come with me. Vivian. Make sure you tell the truth afterward. I nearly snorted. Did she still think me the naive fool who'd once trailed after her calling sister-in-law? Of all my regrets across 2 lifetimes, obeying this scheming woman's every whim topped the list. Memories surfaced, like when Lily convinced teenage me to hit her near John's tutoring center. My featherlight tap had sent her sprawling onto the pavement, wailing theatrically. John rushed her to the hospital, later forbidding me from associating with her. Yet I'd kept falling for her manipulations until John distanced himself and married Sophia. Years later, after our family's ruin, I'd tailed Lily and discovered her long game. She'd always despised John, mocking him as dull-witted eye candy barely worthy of being my backup plan. At the hospital, Lily tried ditching me. I pretended to leave but lingered by the door. Emerging triumphant, she thrust test results at me. See for yourself. I scanned the document, slightly elevated HCG levels. 0 conclusive pregnancy evidence. Pocketing the paper, I headed toward ultrasound. Lily grabbed my arm. Where are you going? Ultrasound suite. You're due for your 12-weekend scan. She recoiled as if scalded. Are you insane? Vivian. Have you lost your mind? You've never even been pregnant. I gazed past her shoulder. John. How's Sophia's checkup? How many weeks along? Lily whirled to see John tenderly guiding his glowing wife. She's pregnant? John Wilson. How dare you impregnate her? The bustling obstetrics wing fell silent. Dozens of eyes judging. Unfazed. John pressed a kiss to Sophia's temple. Sweetheart. Ignore whatever nonsense you hear. Every inch of me belongs to you. Sophia dimpled. Need help? Just stand there looking beautiful. Lily's enraged shriek pierced the air. John. Rolling up sleeves to reveal gym-toned muscles. John drawled. While I'm flattered you think me irresistible, even my looks don't magically impregnate strangers. Especially with my wife present, how low will you sink? I glimpsed Sophia's blush. John continued. Produce DNA evidence this is mine. And I'll let my wife kick me out myself. Lily spluttered incoherently until Sophia interjected gently. We should preserve her dignity. Lily. I'll accompany you for amniocentesis whenever? No. Lily backed away wildly. You'll harm my baby. She fled. The crowd parting like the Red Sea. My brother John and I stared at each other in disbelief. Was this all it took to break them? I wasn't worried about Lily not coming around though. The official demolition notice for our family property would arrive within a month. How did Lily know? Her uncle worked at the municipal office and tipped her off about the impending policy change. The compensation package included 3 downtown apartments and cash settlement. One of those units would later multiply in value by dozens of times. In my previous life, Lily had exploited John's mental instability to transfer ownership of one apartment to her uncle while evicting our parents to make room for her own family. As for me, I clenched my fists until my knuckles whitened. Memories of that alternate timeline flooding back. During my usual walk, Lily cornered me in an alley. She clung to my arm with artificial warmth, ignoring our recent conflict. My skin crawled, but I resisted shoving her away immediately. "Vivi," she cooed. "I know I shouldn't interfere with John and Sophia's marriage, but I'm crazy about him. Help me one more time?" I glanced at the blood bag peeking from her pocket. "With what?" "I need to test if he cares about me. If not, I'll get an abortion and disappear." Her performance deserved an Oscar. "Fine," I agreed. Ecstatic. Lily handed me a wooden bat. "Make it look real this time. Okay? Not like last week's weak slap." Feigning reluctance, I protested. "What if I hurt you? Just aim for fleshy areas. Even if you slip up, I won't press charges." There it was, the verbal contract I needed. "Maybe if you turn around? I can't swing properly while seeing your face." Eager for her staged miscarriage, Lily immediately faced the brick wall. Through peripheral vision, I spotted John and Sophia across the street. My sister-in-law was nibbling street vendor snacks while John playfully confiscated her bubble tea, tossing it after one sip. "What a waste." Sophia simply laughed, devouring her sausage skewer as John affectionately pinched her cheek. Lily grew impatient. "Hurry up." "Right away." I hefted the bat as my targets began crossing the road. With calculated force, I swung at her hip pocket. The impact triggered visceral memories: John's mental collapse after their divorce, Parker relatives blasting loudspeakers about irresponsible pregnancy, the stolen household registry used for forced marriage registration, my parents' funeral arrangements done alone, then finding Lily's goons waiting in my ransacked home, the chemical burn of chloroform, waking in damp darkness, the auctions, the cages. My grip tightened. The bat became an extension of primal rage, each strike channeling lifetimes of stolen justice. Would met flesh with satisfying thuds until John's shout pierced the red mist. "Vivian, stop." Lily lay curled on concrete, clutching her head with one blood-stained leg. I dropped the bat dramatically, embracing her while fake sobbing. "I told you I couldn't control my strength. Look. I even ruptured your prop blood pack." When Vivian mentioned the blood bag, Lily winced in pain and retorted, "What blood bag? Didn't you say you wanted to beat me until I miscarried?" Bystanders gathered around, criticizing Vivian for her apparent cruelty. Tearing up, Vivian pulled a ruptured fluid bag from Lily's pocket. "No one believes me. This is what I broke earlier. Let's get medical examination records if you doubt me." Having endured darkness in my past life, I knew exactly where to strike for maximum pain without visible marks. John and Sophia agreed. "We'll all go for medical verification." Lily had planned this spectacle for John's benefit, hoping to frame Vivian for causing a miscarriage. But her scheme unraveled when paramedics intervened, transporting her to the hospital despite her protests. At the hospital, Lily demanded multiple examinations, hysterically claiming Vivian had caused her miscarriage. The young physician snapped coldly, "Are you questioning our competence? You're neither pregnant nor injured." Every hospital would confirm this. When Lily accused, everyone saw her beating me. Vivian played their recorded conversation where Lily insisted on being struck. The damning audio left the room speechless. As Lily lunged, John swiftly removed Vivian from the room. The physician followed, observing Vivian's pallor. "You need comprehensive tests." Recognition flashed. This was the same doctor who'd treated John in our previous life, uttering identical words during our first encounter. That night, Sophia sought Vivian privately. "Vivi, this mess stems from John's past. Let me help. Actually, I do need your assistance." Vivian smiled. The Parkers returned next morning, coveting the Wilsons' demolition compensation. My parents finally unleashed 5 years' worth of pent-up fury, driving the Parkers away. Their midnight conversations about past failures and Dad's sleepwalking knife incident revealed how deeply our previous tragedy haunted them. Our factory, revived through John's reforms over 2 years, became our secret financial backbone. While appearing impoverished, we prepared for vengeance that would destroy the Parkers psychologically rather than physically. As we sat down to celebrate with a family feast, Lily returned with journalists and influencers in tow. Cameras flooded our home until John shielded Sophia upstairs, his movements rehearsed through lifetimes of confrontation. After Sophia Wilson locked the door behind us, John stepped in front of me and smashed Lily's phone. Had enough yet? Fine. Let's settle this once and for all. I'd never seen my brother wear such a dark expression before. Instinctively, I pulled our parents aside. Lily clutched her chest dramatically. Why can't you see how perfect I am for you? What does that country bumpkin have that I don't? It's true, Sophia's rural household registration hadn't been transferred yet, which ironically concealed her true background. John barked out a laugh. Owned a mirror lately? You're comparing yourself to my wife? That illiterate peasant only married you for your urban residency. Lily shrieked. My jaw dropped. We all knew Lily had no shame. But this unwarranted superiority complex? Superiority? John's voice turned icy. From living in that 300-square-foot hovel? Let's be clear, your family only got municipal residency because your father works at our factory. Lily's face purpled. Changing tactics. She whirled toward the influencer's cameras. This factory heir is bullying me. They're covering up medical records and refusing compensation. File the lawsuit. John challenged. But remember, my lawyers will sue until you're bankrupt. Lily froze, clearly remembering her father's employment depended on John's goodwill. Swiveling toward me, she hissed Vivi. I hit play on my phone, releasing the recording of her coaching me to slap her. The influencers leaned forward like bloodhounds catching scent. Tears welled in my eyes. Why frame me? You begged me to stage this. Without this recording, I let the implication hang. Lily panicked as I pressed, is this about funding your brother's wedding? The one with the phony extravagance last time? The Parker family's grand wedding after my kidnapping escape had revealed their true agenda, draining our family's wealth. Don't you dare. Lily sputtered. My brother's an honor student. Expelled in 9th grade for dealing drugs? I countered. The remaining journalists secretly arranged by Sophia captured every word. Dawn brought Lily pounding our door. I'd waited hours in my robe for this. Peeking through the security chain, I yawned. Yes? You ruined everything. Lily's bloodshot eyes bulged as she shoved against the door. When she tried reaching through the gap, I leaned casually against the metal frame. Her scream as fingers caught in the door brought back memories of my own severed digits in that previous life. Sophia emerged just as John's bedroom door opened. I released pressure, watching dispassionately as Lily cradled her hand, mere fractions of the pain she'd inflicted. Lily Parker stormed off in tears, cursing under her breath. I yawned. I'm going to catch some sleep. Lily had planned to expose the Wilson family through internet influencers, attempting to frame us. Meanwhile, I provided evidence of her slander to reputable TV journalists. Overnight, public opinion shifted dramatically online. Our family suddenly became the nation's sympathy darlings. Despite Lily's repeated provocations, John and his wife Sophia grew closer than ever, eager to help with family troubles. Sophia immediately contacted TV journalists when I suggested it. John later questioned how I'd connected with local news. I smiled mysteriously. Your little sisters lived 2 lifetimes. You think I can't handle this? He never asked again. The day demolition documents arrived, our whole street celebrated. That night, $200. 000 cash Mom had withdrawn for worker bonuses vanished. We called the police immediately. The case was solved quickly. A neighbor's dashcam footage showed Lily and her brother stealing the money under cover of darkness. Caught red-handed. They confessed to taking the $200,000. But we'd actually lost $500,000 total, including $300,000 from Dad's business partner. The police raided the Parker family home that night. Officers found the Parkers counting the remaining $300,000 in their living room. When handcuffed, the elderly Parkers still tried grabbing fistfuls of cash, screaming it was theirs. The entire Parker family got arrested for burglary. Lily received 8 years. Her relatives 3 each. Visiting Lily in prison later, I found her heavier with hatred burning in her eyes. You framed me, didn't you, Vivian? This was your scheme. I dodged her question. Prison life seems comfortable. Let's hope you look more miserable next time. She snarled. I'll haunt you from the grave, Vivian. We'll discuss that when you're dead. I shrugged. When Sophia went into labor, our whole family waited anxiously outside the delivery room. John paced nervously until we felt dizzy. After a smooth delivery, nurses tried handing the newborn to him, but he clung to the surgical doors, staring at Sophia. Our parents took the baby for checkups while I stayed with my jittery brother. When Sophia emerged, John, all 6 feet 1 inch of him, collapsed sobbing on her hospital gown. I barked. You're crushing her incision. He sprang back like he'd been scalded. At their room doorway later, I overheard John murmur, we're never doing this again. Sophia chuckled. Your factory's thriving. We can afford more. He shook his head fiercely. I earn money for you. What's the point otherwise? I quietly withdrew, leaving their moment undisturbed. That fool still doesn't know Sophia's wealthy in her own right. Unless she tells him. I'll keep that secret forever. My parents treat her like their own daughter. No toxic and law drama here. With vengeance served and peace restored, I felt content until the young doctor blocked my path again. Frowning, he demanded, did you get checked? I nodded vaguely. Show me the report. I teased. Aren't you an OB-GYN? Unamused, he insisted. I'd never gone for an examination. Where would I conjure a report from? So I tried to walk around. But then I heard his firm voice behind me. Early-stage cancer has a high cure rate with good prognosis. I recommend immediate hospitalization. I frowned irritably, about to retort when John's voice called out behind me. Vivian, damn it. When my parents and John's family learned about my condition, they remained surprisingly calm yet organized everything with military precision. My father and John practically dragged me through endless medical tests until I started feeling guilty. John, shouldn't you be with Sophia? She just had the baby. John tightened his jaw. She insisted I come. Would have been here herself if I hadn't stopped her. Turning to my father, I tried again. Dad, isn't Mom's soup still simmering at home? My father's face turned stormier than John's. That broth finished cooking last night. Sophia's probably drinking it right now. I slumped in defeat. You're all acting like I actually have cancer. Both men shot me icy glares. The results came back early-stage renal carcinoma. Thankfully before metastasis. After collective sighs of relief, they railroaded me into treatment. Ethan somehow became my attending physician, his daily meticulous care making my parents eye him like potential son-in-law material. I cut contact immediately after discharge. 6 months later, as I lay bedridden debating whether to move, my father cheerfully ushered someone into my room. My stomach dropped. Vivian, Ethan came specifically to see you, my traitorous father announced, shutting the door on us without mercy. After prolonged internal struggle, I finally sat up, finger combing my hair. He'd seen me at my worst during hospitalization anyway. Ethan chuckled, ruffling my freshly arranged locks. How are you holding up? Surviving, though my prolonged bed rest had added some padding. His eyes crinkled. Want to go somewhere? Hard pass. After dealing with Lily's family drama, anywhere beyond my bed felt like another continent. Trust me. You'll like it. I studied him seriously. Ethan, how did you know about my cancer before anyone else? Maybe from our past life? Goosebumps rose as I eyed him warily. His smile turned wistful. Or perhaps a dream. Not exactly a pleasant one. Though. He eventually coaxed me to the hospital's back hillside where familiar wish ribbons fluttered from an ancient oak. My breath caught identical to those I'd tied in desperation during John's previous mental health crisis. When our family was crumbling after Sophia's departure. So you've been watching me since back then? My voice wavered. I used to watch from my office window. Ethan admitted. Fingertips brushing weathered ribbons. This determined girl praying to a tree. I wanted to know her story. But after you brought John back that day, you vanished. Through Ethan's account, I finally learned what happened to John after I disappeared last time. He said my brother John had been undergoing treatment at the hospital for a year when he suddenly disappeared one day. He told me John's disappearance coincided with the day I was beaten half dead by traffickers and dumped in the wilderness. Perhaps sustained by sheer vengeance. I survived and begged my way back here. Though my failing body wouldn't last long enough for retribution. Thankfully, Providence granted us a second chance to rebuild our family's happiness. Ethan confessed his feelings to me. But I couldn't accept. My past life experiences left me emotionally scarred and volatile. I'm essentially an unstable time bomb. How could I burden someone like Ethan who has such bright prospects? Yet he persisted, visiting our house more frequently. To my dismay, my parents started nagging daily about me not appreciating good fortune. I desperately wanted to run away. So I did. For 2 days. Neither my parents nor John and his wife Sophia came looking. When Ethan found me at the hotel, I was already packing to return home. Fancy accommodations couldn't compare to my own bed. During our walk back, Ethan tried again. I dreamed about you last night. I hummed in response, mentally planning how to coax Mom into making my favorite meal. Vivi, he said, stopping me. Are you pushing me away because of what happened before? My body stiffened. What? With a sigh. He gently embraced me. You're always so sharp-witted. Yet blind to this. Listen, you're not tainted. They were the wrongdoers. Not you. Don't let their crimes become your prison. I stood frozen in his arms before whispering. But I am stained. I can't. Then let me help you heal. He murmured into my hair. When I shook my head, he persisted. Vivi, I spent 50 years in prayer for this second chance. Won't you give us 1 year? If you still feel the same, I'll. He paused dramatically. Just chase you through another lifetime. I suppose. My breath caught. His words implied our rebirth resulted from his devotion? But we'd barely interacted in our previous lives. Before I could protest, he continued. You might not remember me well, but I never forgot you. That day at the hospital when you tied red ribbons to the oak tree, praying daily for your brother. I watched from the surgical wing for weeks. Epilogue, Ethan's perspective. Mom's 11th marriage lecture this month buzzed through my phone, rubbing exhaustion from my eyes after a 10-hour surgery. I gave vague excuses and hung up. Through the hospital window, I spotted her again, the woman who'd haunted the back hill every afternoon. Now tying scarlet ribbons to an oak branch. Over 6 years here, I'd never seen anyone make such vivid prayers. She returned daily until the barren tree limb blazed crimson. That Thursday during rounds, I found her in room 307. John, if you keep refusing treatment, her voice broke as she collected the medical equipment her brother had thrown. Though gaunt and pale herself, she patiently reassembled the 4-stand. Who'll clean up your messes if I'm gone? When our eyes met, I blurted out concern about her health. She left without answering. But I noticed her at oncology the next week. The test results must have come by now. As colleagues urged me to the next patient, I glanced back. She'd coaxed John into taking his medication. Her smile brighter than all those red ribbons combined. A colleague said to me, those siblings had it rough. After their family's property got demolished, some shady characters started circling. Sophia Wilson ran off. And just days ago their parents got so stressed they ended up hospitalized. Nobody could handle their brother John's mental breakdown. I couldn't help but sigh. Hospitals truly show life's rawest moments. Later, I heard John had been discharged and learned his sister's name Vivian. One evening after work, I spotted similar red bracelets at a street vendor's stall. Acting on impulse, I bought one. Only then did I realize how closely I'd been watching Vivian. Far beyond normal concern for patient families. At my age, there's no point denying feelings. Every morning since, I'd tie a red ribbon around that tree before shifts. When I saw Vivian again, she looked worse than before. As I moved to greet her, the white morning flower in her hair froze me mid-step. Quiet inquiries revealed both parents had passed. John's condition deteriorated rapidly after that. Nurses struggled to administer sedatives while Vivian stood motionless by his bed. Her eyes hollowed pawns of resignation. That look of serene despair haunted me, sparking irrational panic whenever my shift ended. I'd scan corridors searching for her. One chaotic day when John erupted again, Vivian was missing. My frantic inquiries led to the rooftop. She stood perilously close to the edge, still advancing when I lunged to grab her. Beneath the hospital gown, her frailness shocked me. "I'm not jumping," she said calmly, pushing away. "Just needed air." "I could use some too," I replied, staying nearby. She glanced over but stayed silent. We fell into rooftop meetings after that. I planned to confess my feelings once she warmed up, or at least build friendship. But catastrophe struck suddenly. After our last rooftop talk, Vivian vanished. John remained hospitalized until funds dried up. She never returned. I covered his final treatments, half joking to myself she'd owe me a lifetime. Yet 12 months passed without word. The winter day colleagues panicked about John's disappearance lives in nightmares. Police reports filed. I retraced routes to Vivian's old home. Snow swirled violently when faint murmurs from an alley stopped me. There, beneath cardboard shelters, 2 figures sat embraced. John's frost-whitened lips still curved protectively around Vivian's form. Her hospital gown draped skeletal limbs mottled with unthinkable injuries. Even with medical training, I couldn't fathom what horrors left her like this. She lay motionless in his arms, bloodless face peaceful in death. John's fading warmth barely lingered when I found them, kneeling in the snow. I cradled my face as silent sobs racked my body. The storm swallowed my grief, burying their tragic story under endless white. After handling the affairs of the Wilson siblings, I went to the temple to pray twice weekly without fail. A year later, the abbot gave me a bracelet and instructed me to maintain a strict vegetarian diet and devote myself to Buddhist practices for 5 years to ensure their reincarnation. As a staunch materialist, I surprised myself by wholeheartedly embracing his guidance. Would 50 years of devotion grant Sophia's entire family another chance? I asked, my voice trembling with greed-fueled desperation. The fear of losing Vivian in the next life overwhelmed my principles. The abbot simply replied, "Sincerity manifests miracles. How else would you know unless you try?" For half a century, I kept my vows, remaining unmarried while building my medical career. The bracelet never leaving my wrist. On my deathbed 50 years later, I opened my eyes to find myself transported back through time. Though yearning consumed me, I resisted rushing to her. Our reunion came unexpectedly at the hospital where she worked. My breath caught seeing her radiant smile, untouched by past tragedies. When Sophia Wilson went into labor with her second child, I watched Vivian from across the corridor, her anxious pacing mirroring my hammering heartbeat. Early-stage cancer has excellent treatment outcomes with prompt care, I blurted when John Wilson appeared, my voice cracking with decades of suppressed emotion. Her startled recognition confirmed she remembered our shared past life, though her family compelled her to undergo treatment with me as her oncologist. Vivian resisted my courtship attempts. My research into her background revealed the horrific truth: she'd escaped human traffickers, an experience that left her convinced of her unworthiness. "You're the purest soul I've ever known," I insisted during countless coffee shop encounters. After a year of patiently dismantling her defenses with psychological techniques I'd specially studied, she finally agreed to date me. Our wedding bells rang 2 years later. By the 3rd anniversary, we were cradling our newborn daughter. The Parker family drama unfolded simultaneously. Sophia's wealthy parents reappeared, tearfully reconciling with their daughter who'd eloped with John Wilson decades prior. Rushing into love rarely ends well, Vivian mused as we watched the emotional reunion. Last lifetime she lost that gamble. I nuzzled her neck, whispering I'd have welcomed your recklessness if it meant finding you sooner. She glared. Stop gloating. You got everything you wanted. Vivi. I smiled, holding her close. In any lifetime.